Let's take a look at how to make a rim for this tire. I'm going to start a rim not from a cylinder this time. Instead, I'm going to be using some edge loops within the tire. With that, we're going to also learn how to extract faces. So I'm going to start by selecting this middle edge, and then I'll convert the selection by Control F11, convert to faces, then grow the selection, shift greater than arrow. We did all that in last lesson. So far it's all a single object. Now once you do extract, the same object is broken down into two separate objects. Now how? Once you have face selected, you want to go under edit mesh, then down here say extract. And when you click on it, now you will see here, go back to object mode. Now you have outer and the inner separate. Now we're going to take this area and we're going to use it to create a rim section. To start with the rim, I'm going to first put this tire onto a layer, but let's delete history on these. Edit, delete by type history. So selecting in here, now I wanted to start by grabbing, let's say, this very outermost faces, just that area. And I'm going to extract this one as well. Extract. Now that makes two pieces right from here to here. So I'm going to get rid of this area and just starting to make rim out of this. So grabbing this and click on extrude up to here. Yeah, let's do up to here. Then second extrude, and we're going to keep pulling that all the way to the center. Now I wanted to push this area back in. I'm going to do something like this. That's good enough. All right, so going back into object mode, same way I'm going to do one side, then for second side we can just gonna duplicate this. All right, so selecting it, going into multi-cut, and let's add an edge loop here. Hold control and somewhere around here, and double clicking, and I'll push that back in. Now there are two layers, so we don't need the second layer inside at this point. So for that one, I'm going to delete the inner layer. How? Select this face and shift select, double click on the next one. It's going to select the entire ring, and then grow the selection, shift greater than arrow, and hit delete. That would only leave the single plane instead of like two-sided. All right, now I'm going to be able to tweak this and push this back as much I want, like in there. Okay. And now if you look at this ring that I've selected right now and this innermost ring, hold shift and select these. Now these two, they're not in a straight line. How you can see that is I'm going to go to front view, hit 4. Now see there's a little distance between them. Now how do you make them come at the same level? So the easy way is to hit scale tool and then push that back, keep pushing in whatever axis comes out. It could be any, in this case it's red, which is X. Now see if I keep pushing them down, now they both are leveled. Now have your reference image open on the another screen or somewhere where you can see it constantly how what you're trying to create here. So I have it on my right here. So this look like this edge need to be a little bit beveled over here, and then we also wanted to pull out. Okay, this one I'm gonna push this one back first, like something like this, and then this middle area is a little bit more raised. So I'm gonna grab this and add one more loop around this area, something over here, and then one over here. Okay, and this area I'll pull this one out straight like this. Okay, and probably going to scale all this in to get that a little bit more shape like this. All right, so look like we're very close. Multi-cut, this time I'm gonna add edge flow, and right in the middle at 50%, push that one a little bit out, adding to create a little bit of this area up here. Now to finish out the rim, I'm gonna bevel these edges. There you go. To see how the shape holds, select, hit 3, and turn off the wireframe to see how rim reads. Yeah, that reads pretty much like a rim, and except for the last area, I want it to be a little bit hard. It's I see a little gap in there, so let's cover those gaps. Now if you remember earlier we did isolate select, so I'm gonna click on this to go into isolate select mode, and I also need to bevel this edge so that it doesn't go inward once I hit 3. So I'm going to set this to 4 just to make sure it stays on its position, which in this case it does pretty good. Now here we go. Alright, so now this is good. Now the next part is I wanted to have this area, like the very last one, also holds its edge. So I'm going to click on that and bevel this one. So I got 2 sides here and probably this one as well. So that will make sure this last area does not go, like, look at that, so it doesn't go smooth. All right, so now this is all good. Now we wanted to duplicate this over to the other side, and how we're going to do that is I'm going to first turn off this tire layer, which I just made earlier, if you know. So there's a lot of history on this. I'll select it, add it, delete by type history. Now let's mirror this. Now since we are making it the center of the grid, so we can go under mesh, mirror option box, and we want it to duplicate in X negative, because this is X going out, and then hit apply. Now that gives you the other side. Here we go. So now here we have a chance to learn another tool that will cover up this middle sections, and that tool is called a bridge tool. It's right here. Now what bridge tool does, it automatically, as long as you have the same number of edges on each side, it automatically bridges the gap between them. So let's see, let's prepare for it first. So since this is so I'm going to grab these 2 edges. So I wanted to scale them inward a bit, like this. See, not all the way in, just tiny bit. Now object mode, delete by type history. Now I wanted to know how many edges do I have. Now the easiest way to know is turn on HUD, and under display you can go under heads up display, and down here you want it to go into poly count. If I turn this on, it's going to show me all this information here. Now among them we also have information about the edges. Now if I look in here in the very last column, it's showing me these edges I've selected right now are 40. And if I wanted to use this bridge option, I need to have the same amount on the other side as well. So I'm gonna double click on that and check how many I have here. Here also I have 40. Alright, now to use bridge, select one side loop, hold shift and select other side. Now click on bridge. It's gonna automatically bridge the gap between them. And same thing can also be done here, although we don't really need it. We didn't need this on our model. So what is just to learn the bridge tool. So selecting each number on each side and click on bridge, that'll cover the gap. All right, so with that, now we're gonna delete history onto this, add it, delete by type history. And next thing is we're gonna bevel out these inner edges. Now if I hit 3, it goes kind of in this shape. So to finish this off, I'm gonna grab these edges, all of those up to here, and click on bevel tool, and that's it. Now last thing we can do is, since the rim looks exactly same in inner and outer side, so what I'm going to do here in the inner side, I'm going to change a little bit. Like on this side, I wanted to have this area extruded out a bit so that we know what side is the inner side. So I'm going to grab this and probably going to take out some edges from here, like remove this edge, and hold Control and delete, and then grab this edge and probably going to scale out a bit, something like this, and that gives me enough room here to extrude this out. So I'll grab this area and I'll hit extrude button and pull this one straight out. You can hit W and pull out, or you can also pull out through translate Z in a extrude tool. Alright, so this is just to show that this is the inner side of the rim. Otherwise they both will look entirely same. Okay, so just giving it a little bit. And also I feel like in this image here, if you see, it has a little bit of that area coming inward. Alright, so going in here now, last thing is, since we pull this one out, we're gonna also need to hold these edges. If I hit 3 now, these edges gonna go like this. So that's why we kind of wanted to do bevel onto these as well. And probably this one right here. And now if I hit 3, they are going to hold pretty good. Look at that. So right there. Okay, so now we got the inner side is this and outer side is this, and this is how it looks with the tire all along. So that's it for now, and then next we're going to be adding all the screws and a little bit of the air gauge right into the tire before we duplicate this over onto wagon.